written at the top of that, I have a set of numbers. Test scores, bowling scores, whatever. Doesn't really matter. The important thing for you guys to understand and know what this is know that this is called a set of data. That is data. Okay. When you have a group of numbers like this that are all from the same thing, it's called a set of data. We are going to spend some time learning about how to measure sets of data. We're done with fractions for a while. This stuff is actually pretty easy. We're going to learn how to measure data. The most important things that I need you to remember is what each one of these things are: range, mean, median, and mode. It's probably in your best interest to write these things down so that later on you can look at them. You can look at what you wrote down so that you can remember what each one of these things is. The most common one that you're going to see being used is the one called mean. Besides your sister, Torrance, what is mean? It usually is represented by a number. Does anybody know what mean is? You just talked about it in science class. What does mean? The average. Why not? Mean. Understand that. That's why I'm having you write this stuff down. Mean is the average. Mean is another word for average. However you want to remember it, that's fine. Maybe the average teacher is mean. You can remember it that way if you want. Or, I don't know, the average sixth grader is mean. Oh, no. Average, mean, same thing. Another one that you're going to come across is the median. Anyone have any idea what median is? The one in the middle. Yeah, it's the one in the middle. So in order to find the one in the middle, there's some things that we have to do. Just like mean, in order to find the average or find the mean, there is something we have to do. A way to remember median, it sounds like medium, which is the one in the middle. Or, do you guys all know what that yellow line down the middle of roads is called? It's called the median. Yeah, it's the one in the middle. It's the thing in the middle. The median is the thing in the middle. All right. Next one is mode. Mode. Any idea what mode is? Have you ever heard of mode before? Yes, you have? Do you remember what it is? Okay. Okay. Mode is the number that shows up most often. So mode is the number that shows up the most often. This is also very important. This is important. If all numbers show up the same amount, there is no mode. You might want to write that down so that you remember it. If all numbers show up the same number of times, there is no mode. And it is not zero, it is no mode. Those two words, N-O-M-O-D-E. Yes.
So it's kind of like when you did the
Let me continue, and maybe it might help you out. And the last one is range. Anyone know what range is? What do you think? It's the biggest number minus the smallest number. It's the distance between the largest and the smallest on the number line. So your range, like for example, for the scores that I have up here at the top, my range would be the largest number I have up here is 98. The smallest number I have up here is 73. I would take 98 minus 73, and I would come up with a range of 25. The average, if I wanted to find the average of 98, 95, 73, 94, 98, 89, and 85, if I wanted to find the average, what would I have to do in order to find the average? I don't have to do that to find the average, but that is actually probably one of the best things you can do to begin with any set of data that you have. Put them in order from least to greatest. I will do that even though I don't need to do it for me. So let's do that right now. We have 73. What's my next? 85. Then I have, what, 89? 94. 94. Then 95. And 98. And 98. Okay. Notice I crossed them off as I did that. It helps, if you cross those off, it helps you remember which ones you wrote down already. Okay, so now I put them in order. But in order to find the mean, I didn't really have to do that. In order to find it, what do I have to do? To find the average or find the mean, what do I have to do? I have to add all of these up, and I'm not going to do that just for time's sake, because I know that all of you know how to add. So I would add all these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I would add them all up, and then what do I have to do? Once I find the sum of those 7 numbers, what do I have to do?
divide the sum by 7.
Divide the sum of those numbers by 7. Why 7? Because there's 7 numbers. So if I had 5 numbers, I would divide by 5. If I had 3 numbers, I would divide by 3. Okay. I'm not going to ask you guys to do that right now. Median. Median. We said it's the one in the middle. Okay. Look at this set of numbers. Is there one that's actually in the middle? Yeah. Which one? 94. I can do this. The way that I like to do this is I like to start on both ends, and I cross one off that side, then one off this 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 side, and then I'm left with, bam, right there in the middle. My median, my number in the middle is 94. And then we talked about range, largest minus smallest. Okay? So, and we talked about that. Players on a volleyball team measured how high they could jump. The results in inches are recorded on the table. So we have 13, 23, 21, 20, 21, 24, and 18. If I wanted to find the median, what would I have to do? What would I have to do in order to find the median? Lacey. The first thing I should do, though, is put them in order. First thing I should do is put them in order, and I would go 13, got that one, then we got what, 18, then we got what, 20, 21, 21, 23. Oh, wait, and 24. Ooh, danger, danger. Okay. Then I would start crossing them off the ends. Boom, boom, boom. Middle is 21. My median would be 21. What if I wanted to find, let's say, the mode? What is the mode of this set of data? 21. How do you know that this set of data's mode is 21? Because there's two 21s and everything else shows up only one time. Ooh, check this out. What if they had one other volleyball player? Let's just say they had another one. And that volleyball player could jump 24 inches. Now what's my mode? Now what's my mode? That is not true. There is a mode. You can have two modes. No, I said if they all show up the same number of times. If they all show up the same number of times, then there is no mode. This one has two numbers that show up twice. Everything else shows up once. So my mode would be 21 and 24. What is my range of this set of numbers? 11. Oh, yeah. How did you figure out 11? (24 minus 13). Largest is 24 right here. Smallest is 13. 24 minus 13 is 11. So my range would be 11. By the way, 11 what? No, 11 what? Inches, because they measured in inches right here, by the way. And if I wanted to find the mean, what would I have to do in order to find the mean? And I'm not going to do that for time's sake. What would we have to do to find the mean? Well, yeah, if we forget about this, let's just say we didn't have that. Okay. Yeah, we'd add all these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'd add all those up and divide by 7. Yes. Good question. We'll get there.
If there were two 13s, if you still subtract 24.
Yeah, because 13 is one of the smallest. Yep. Largest minus smallest.
What happens if you try to find the median and there's two numbers?
You mean the median? He just asked that question and we're going to get there. We will get there. Promise. That's a very good question. I'm glad that you're looking at that. Okay, so some dude in the springtime after a thunderstorm went out and measured depths of puddles. I don't know why. He was bored, but that's what he did. Okay, so he goes out and he measures depths of puddles. And he finds one of them's 5, 8, 3, 5, 4, 2, and 1. This is a set of data. It's a set of numbers. Okay. What is the mean of this set of numbers? What do I have to do to find out the mean? Cesar. Add them all up. Okay, let's add them all up. We got a 5 here and a 5 here. That makes a 10, right? And then we got an 8 and a 2, and that makes another 10. That's a 20. Plus 3 is 23. Plus 4 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. So right now I have 28 is the sum of all of those numbers. Then what do I have to do? Divide by the number of numbers. How many numbers are there? 7. Divide by 7, which is what? 4. So my mean is 4 inches. All right, cool. Now, I know it says only find the mean, but I want to do all of them. So I want to find the median. How do I find the median? What do I have to do, Alexis? List them in order. So we got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 8. All right, cool. Got that all done. Now, I like to cross them off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 4's in the middle. Cool. Our median is 4. Happens to be the same. And what? Get a decimal. Make a fraction. Whatever. If you have a remainder, yeah. Let's say when you divided it and you got, let's say it was 29 divided by 7, and you were left with 4 and 1/7. You could do that. Or you could create a decimal, add a 0, and keep going, 4 point whatever. You could do that too. Jonathan.
If it's like the highest number out of all of them, it's like 22, would you divide it by 2 to find the average? And you could divide it by 2.
No. Just follow what I'm telling you to do. Please stop looking for shortcuts. Okay? Now, if I want my mode, what is my mode? Mode is what? 5. How do you know? 5 shows up most often. If 5, so my mode is 5. And my range is 7 inches. I take the largest, which is 8, minus 1 is the smallest. My range is 7 inches. All right, cool. We'll get to your questions that you have now. So, we have a team. They went out, played basketball game. They scored 96 points, then 75 points, then 84 points, then 7. Eesh. That's not good. Maybe their best player was sick or something. Who knows? Anyway, so they scored this many points. In order to find the mean, we would take all of these up, add them together, and divide by what? 4. I'm not going to do that for time's sake. I know that you know how to do it. As far as the median goes, this is your question. Actually, somebody, while we're doing this, take a calculator. Let's find out the mean. Okay? Okay. The median, we have to put the numbers in order. So let's put them in order. We have 7. We have 75. We have 84. We have 96. Got it yet? That's not the average. Now divide by 4. Because that was the sum, right? 65.5. So my mean is 65.5. Good. Okay. That's my mean. Median. Now we have to take all of these. We have to start crossing them off. Uh-oh. Which one do we pick? Which one? What do we do? What do we do? Oh my gosh. What do we do? Go in the middle of that. I take these two numbers. I can't just, I have to find the one in the middle of that. Stop stretching this out. That makes me mad. It bothers me as a parent. Okay. I have to find the middle of that. And the middle of that is the average of those. Huh? The average of two numbers, the middle, what's halfway in between any two numbers is the average of those two numbers. Or mean of those two numbers. So, in order to find out exactly halfway, well, when it's numbers like this, 8 and 9, or 8 and 9, you could go, oh, it's 8.5. Or if you said it was 8, it was halfway in between 8 and 10. Yeah, you know, it's 9. That's easy. When it gets to be a little bit bigger numbers like this, 75 and 84, we might have to do a little bit of math to figure that out. The way to figure that out is we go 75 plus 84 is a 9. And then that is, what, 15? So we got 159 divided by 2, which is a 7, minus 14 is a 1. And then that brings down to 9. That's a 9. Minus 18 is a 1. Add a decimal, add a 0, bring it down. 10, 5, dot. So my median is 79. Oops. 79.5. Maybe I didn't understand your question. You were right. It is halfway in between. Okay. So halfway in between, 79.5. All right. Let me ask you this. If you look at this, and let's say this is a real basketball team. Let's say this is my middle school basketball team. Okay? My middle school basketball team, they're awesome. They're just awesome. They scored 96 points one game. They scored 75 points the next game. They scored 84 points the next game. Then they only scored 7. Apparently we were in foul trouble, had a bad day. The other coaches, the other teams, look at that and go, oh, look, they go, well, they average only 65 and a half points. They only average 65 and a half points. Does that seem like a very good representation of our team? Think about it. We scored 96, 75, 84, and 7. Does our average, if you looked at that and go, oh, they only average 65.5, does that represent us very well? I would say no. Because honestly, look at how many points we scored in the first 3 games, and we just had a really bad game that brought the average down really bad. Just think about your test scores. Just think if you guys, let's say you got 100, 100, a 98, a 97, a 96, and then a 12. And that brought your average test score down to a 75. Do you think your average test score is a good representation of you and what you did? No, it isn't. That's when you would use median to represent your score. You see that? Your median is probably a better representation. Your one that's in the middle is a better representation of your score. Okay? That's a little more of a lesson for later. Now, that's how you figure that out. Is there, what about the mode of this one? What about the mode? This is how you would answer this. Mode. No mode. That's how you would do. You would write it, no mode. Don't do this. Don't write 0 as an answer. 0 is a number. You would be telling me that 0 is your mode. That's not true. It's no mode. What's my range? $89. 96 minus 7, my range is 89. Okay? I'm sure that you guys can do problems like this on your homework. So what I want to give you is your homework assignment, which is page. We're finally in the 300s. Page 300, 2 to 16 even. Please make sure you do all of the problems, because you know what? Those problems ask, some of the problems ask for the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Make sure you read the questions carefully. Okay?